Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome back to another story time with Mr. Kevke. I hope that you guys had a wonderful, wonderful day at school today. And we are just inching closer and closer to Christmas. We have a great book for you this evening. It is a pretty funny little book, Duck on a Tractor. Duck on a Tractor. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a great book this evening. I hope you have a great night's sleep tonight. Down on the farm, Duck sometimes got wild ideas. One day, he decided he could ride a bike, so he did. Then he spotted the tractor. "I bet I can drive a tractor," he said. The other animals weren't so sure, but they all said, "Well, if he can ride a bike, maybe he can drive a tractor too." I wonder if you think he can drive a tractor. Duck climbed on the tractor and looked around. He pushed some pedals and wiggled the metal stick, but nothing happened. Then a shiny little piece of metal by the steering wheel caught his eye. He pulled it out and he pushed it in. Then he turned it. All of a sudden, the tractor shook and coughed and rumbled, and it began to move. At first, it moved very slowly and it jerked a lot, but it was fun. Duck drove around the barnyard until he got the hang of it. Then he stopped in front of the other animals. "Climb on, everybody," shouted Duck. Dog was first. He jumped right up next to Duck. "Woof," said the dog. But what he thought was, "We're going for a ride." To everyone's surprise, Cow clambered on next. "Moo," said Cow. But what she thought was, "This is the silliest thing I've ever done." Pig and Pig took the back seat. "Oink," said the Pig and Pig. What they thought is, "This sure beats walking." So Duck ain't by himself anymore. Then came Chicken, Mouse, and Goat. "Squawk," said the Chicken. But what she thought was, "The last one on is a rotten egg." "Squeak," said the Mouse. But what she thought was, "I can see everything from way up here." "Ma," said the Goat. But what he thought was, "I'm hungry. Does the garbage dump have a drive-through window?" Goats are always eating. Always eating. This tractor's full of animals. Next up were Horse and Cat. Cat jumped up gracefully onto the tractor. Horse, not so much. "Meow," said the cat. What she thought was, "I'm going to take a nap. This should be very interesting." "Nay," said the horse. What he thought was, "I think I'd rather walk." Horse was having a hard time. The only one left on the ground was Sheep. "Bah," said the sheep. But what she thought was, "This is too dangerous." "Get on, Sheep," everyone shouted. But Sheep wouldn't budge. So Duck started driving away without her. "Wait," cried Sheep. "Don't leave me here all alone." She ran after the tractor, took a flying leap onto it. "Quack," yelled the Duck. But what he thought was, "Wahoo!" What would you do if you saw this tractor and all of these animals piled on this tractor? Duck steered the tractor down the lane and out into the main road. And long before they were driving right through the middle of town. It was lunchtime, so most people were in the diner. They all looked up when Duck and the other animals passed by the big window. A little boy named Edison was having lunch with his grandma. "Did you ever?" Grandma gasped. But what she thought was, "A duck on a tractor? That's impossible." "That's totally awesome," Edison shouted. But what he thought was, "No one's going to believe this." Marcine, the waitress, looked up from her pad and noticed the cat. "Heavens to Betsy," she exclaimed. But what she thought was, "I like cats." Deputy Bob blabbered, if that don't beat all." But what he thought was, "How am I going to explain this to the sheriff?" A what I'm seeing reoccurring in this book is that people don't always say everything they think. A man named Otis chimed in. He said, "I must be seeing things." But what he thought was, "Oh no, not again." "Holy cow," hollered Manny the cook. But what he thought was, "Holy cow." Manny usually said exactly what he thought. The mayor almost choked on his pie. "Good gravy," he sputtered. But what he thought was, "Those pigs are even fatter than I am." Corky just whistled. But what he thought was, "That duck is smarter than he looks." Gwen came out of the restroom. "Would you look at that?" she exclaimed. But what she thought was, "I can't see anything without my glasses." Farmer Odell observed, "That's a dang nice tractor." But what he thought was, "Hey, that's my tractor." He decided he'd better go after it, and he went out the door. Everyone else ran out too and chased after him. By this time, Duck had turned on to the next street. The tractor shuddered to a stop. Duck tried turning the shiny little piece of metal again. Nothing happened. I don't know much about spelling," said the dog, "but I think that E means it's the end of our ride." Sheep cleared her throat. I think we might get in trouble for this." "Let's get out of here," yelled Duck, just as Farmer Odell and everyone from the diner came around the corner. That E means they're out of gas. It was empty. But I guess it also does mean it is the end of the road. And all of them just stood there looking. I wonder what's going through their minds. Everyone burst out laughing. "Nah," they all said. "It couldn't have been. It was an optical illusion," exclaimed Otis Farmer. He thought that he had left his tractor running by accident. "I guess that explains it," Deputy Bob agreed. Then they all went back to the diner to finish their lunch. And no one ever admitted that on that day they had seen a cow, a goat, a cat, a dog, a sheep, a chicken, a horse, 2 pigs, a mouse, and a duck on a tractor. And they're all running back to the farm. The end. It's a wonderful, wonderful book this evening. What I really did like is that all the expressions the people used when they were saying things, but they sometimes meant something else. And a lot of times we use those same expressions, and sometimes we don't always say what we mean. But I hope that you have had a wonderful day at school. I hope that you have a great night's sleep, and I love you very, very much.